Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Review.
So Lost is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. Definitely top 5. On any given day, it could be number 1. I love the ending of Lost. No, they weren't dead the entire time. And I really, really enjoy the show and the narrative that it took me on. And I was super excited to find out there was a board game about it. I'd heard all the rumors that the game was horrible and it was terrible. And boy, were they right. Yeah, you know, it's hard for me not to have a nostalgia little pull the heartstrings for this game. And it does. So you're on an island and you're exploring it and you're flipping over these locations. One of the big downfalls of the game is that almost everything just tells you to flip over a fate card. And the fate cards are just random things, either equipment or people or events that you have. And everything is just kind of random that happens to you. We were even laughing, like, activate a location. Why not just say flip a fate cards? That's what they all are. You'll meet people and you'll have power struggles with them, which unfortunately, again, is just a single die roll of a 6-sided die added in with your powers. Not a lot there. That part is okay. The win conditions are somewhat interesting, is that you got to get everybody on your side, which is... This is season 2 of Lost, so it kind of makes sense with what you're trying to do. Or your individual starting character will have a win condition on it. So you can either win by doing the win condition, or you can win by getting everybody on your side, which I think 9 times out of 10, it will be the win condition. The game is just boring. It just is. It's just not a very fun game. You're not doing very much. You can walk around, you can shoot people, you can meet them. It almost feels like you're the NPC in a role-playing game. You're the guy that's just kind of standing there going, hi, and gives that a little bit of narrative to other people because it doesn't really feel like you do much. Some dice rolling, there's some moving, lots of flipping of a fate card, which are just random effects. It all adds up to one of the worst games I've ever played in my life, with some of the worst components I've ever seen. Total miss, and I'm still on the search for my Lost game. If anyone knows of any games that kind of pull Lost into the board gaming world, please give me your recommendations. Otherwise, for now, this is a Purge. Here's Lost, the game. It's not the board game, it's the game. Now, these keep it at 10 also. This is like a cheap box kind of insert that it comes into. For 2 to 8 players and 13 and up. And my gosh, this thing is hard to open. Okay. And I have it all bagged up inside. So, no real insert to speak of. We will... Geez, look at this thing inside here. Oh, what a terrible, terrible box. Here's the instructions. We'll set these aside and look at these things in a few minutes. You are going to get... Now, these are pretty nice. Now, you have these, like, little clear cases. You literally just fold up a piece of paper and you put it inside. And there's not enough for each character. So, if you want to play a different character, you literally pop this little cheap piece of paper out and you will be able to play as that person. So it's just this, and then you bend it back to fit in there. Never seen anything so terrible. So you just put whoever you want to play as in there. Although these little plastic things are kind of neat. You have the little characters that you want to be. Now for your player characters, there's a lot of characters in here. They can be allies, whatever. But here's what you're going to have. You're going to have Kate, Walt, Michael, everybody has their own special ability, Saeed, Sawyer, Hurley, Anna Lucia, Jack, Libby, Boone, Shannon, Jen, Locke, Mr. Eco, Charlie, Sun, and Claire. So we're looking at others, but a season 2, if you will, kind of cast that you're going to have there. You're going to get some tiles that you'll be putting out. They have pictures, stills from the show. They're not exactly thick. They're okay. But they do have nice little pictures from the show on here. You notice that most of them just say draw a fake card. It's kind of laughable. We'll get that in the flow of the game. But there's a smoke monster. Tons of those tiles. And then you're going to have a couple 6-sided dice that are pretty generic. This is fairly nice. This is like a first player marker, but it has a Dharma initiative on it. That might be worth something. And you have these little things that you'll put out. So if you're injured, you kind of put that out. There's a starting location, which is the crash. Oceanic flight. You got a cave in. Look, it's hate. But it says fate on the back. These are cards we have. These are super cheap. Super cheap. And these have like little small drawings on them. Do you see those? They're very generic. I don't know. Kind of weird. And you get a ton of those that'll be in here. So your fate cards will be. That's components. They're not very good. The tiles are okay. Lots of starting locations you can see in here for the different players. Not too good. So here's the rule book, which is really just paper printed out. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I started to think maybe this was not a real copy of the game, but from what other people said, it seems to be. The power check that you're going to have in here for the beginner game. This is just white paper. It's just so bizarre. The rules are a mess. They don't really make much sense. This is not printed on good paper. This whole thing just looks atrocious, to be honest with you. But, I mean, other people got the same thing. I don't think it's a pirated copy. But these rules are just, oh my gosh. Can you see that? Just terrible. Absolutely terrible. So you're going to make a little island here. You're going to have inner island tiles that will go in the middle, and then you'll have the shoreline tiles that will make up the outer reference of it. So pretty easy to do as you get it set up. You just make an island for you, and you'll have your characters moving around the board in no time. Each player will grab a character. In the beginning game, you want to make sure you have somebody that's at least at 3 power, kind of like Boone, and you'll take a player, whoever you want, as your starting character. Now, everybody has a special ability and an individual win condition on this card. So let's say you chose Sawyer. This would be put down. Then you'll put him inside his little glass container here, and you put him out on the board, and that will become one of the starting locations that you'll have, and you'll have multiple of these on the board. So let's say somebody was Kate. Kate would be out. Maybe Walt would be out on the board, and you're ready to start. So for the most part, what you're going to do is you're going to move your character. Each turn you move all your characters. So just kind of be aware that you can have multiple characters on your side, and you will be able to move them on the board. You'll move all of your characters, unless for some reason our game, like they're stuck, or for some reason you cannot. So you kind of want to split them up, which allows you to cover more ground. Move all your characters you can, and you kind of move them around the board. So let's say I want to move up here to the river or to the hillside. So when the game starts, all the tiles will be face down, and as the game progresses, you'll be turning them over. So if you land on a face down tile, let's say Sawyer want to go here to the inner island, then you would flip this over, read the instructions, and follow them. So in this case, you would draw 2 fate cards. You have this fate deck, so I would draw 2 of them. The player to your left determines which direction each character moves. So you would draw 2 of these, and then you would just do what they say. So Deluge, play this from your hand. No other events may be played this turn. No power checks may be made. Count to 5. Play this from your hand. The monster has no effect on a character of your choice. So you would draw 2 of those fate cards into your hand. If you were to move on to a site that's already face up, you just move there. It says draw a fate card. Any character gets a +1 to their power while they are at this location. That's the hillside. So once again, you just read and do what it says. If you land on a location that already has an event card on it, then you would just do whatever the event card says. So event cards will be placed face down, and when you go there, you just kind of flip it over and you do what the event says. Very easy. Now, the tricky part is if you land on a location, let's say you landed here, and Kate is there, you can choose to engage with the location or the character. So I could do what the tile says, or I could engage with the character. If you engage with the location, just like normal, you read and do what it says. If you want to engage with the character, you can attempt to lead them or do a power check on them. If I go to a location, the neutral character, and I just do a power check. Power is always printed on the bottom of the card. Then what I can do is if I have equipment, I can exchange it with characters at the same location. And if you have more than 4 event cards in your hand, which are these types of fate cards that you'll be able to gain, then you discard down to 4. Now, each character is going to have their own win conditions. The first players to lead all their characters on the board, so you're leading all of them, or you fulfill the starting character's win condition. In this case, Sawyer was my starting condition. If you ever control at least 5 pieces of equipment, no other player controls any, you win the game. Other players may know what's going on, so I'm going to have all of the equipment, because Sawyer likes to hoard that kind of stuff. Now, Saeed, if anytime you have prevented at least one character from each other player from being killed, you win the game. Because somehow you have to track that. Then you'll see, let's say Hurley here's a starting character. If you ever control 6 or more characters, you win the game. Because he likes to make friends. Jack, if anytime Jack has healed at least one character from each other player, you win the game. So everybody have their own unique win conditions also. So doing a power check, we talked about that earlier. It's very easy. If you want to do a power check with somebody, you take your power, you add it to a die roll, and that's your power. So if I rolled 6 plus 4 is 10, and they rolled 1 plus 3 is 4, my power would be higher. That's how power checks roll. The first player to either control all of the characters on the board or meet their win condition is the winner of the game. Who should buy this game? Really, only collectors. I mean, if you're a fan and you love Lost and you want to collect everything Lost, or you just want the only board game based on Lost, this is where you find yourself. This one singular game. I don't think there's anything else out there. Maybe a trivia game. But this is pretty much going to be it. Every other single person on the planet should avoid this fire trap as much as possible. And that's coming from a huge, huge Lost fan. I've watched this series multiple times. I've analyzed scenes. Yeah, disappointed.